What's the point? One of the phrases I'm known for in our business is this one. What's the point? I guess another way of saying it would be, what's the objective? What is our objective in this? So, for example, if we're in a meeting and we're talking about an event, what event we're going to plan or put on, or we want to make a change in the system. The question I always end up asking is, well, what's the point? What's our objective? What's the end goal here? And I think a lot of times we make a mistake of trying to come up with a great idea and run with it, but without actually considering what the actual outcome is that we're looking for. It's like, oh, I've got a great idea, I've got creative stuff, let's do this, it's going to be amazing. And so often we can run ahead with things and do them, and then realize that actually, yes, it maybe had an impact in one area, but it didn't really have the desired impact in a different area, or maybe it gave you some gains in one area, but it gave you some losses in another area. You improved in one area, but it took away from something else. So too many people have these ideas, and they often launch and they go at 100 miles an hour. Morning, Franco, again. They go 100 miles an hour without kind of fully thinking it through. So there are some kind of key elements that you need to consider, okay? Whether you're creating an event, whether you're planning a lesson, and again, even with a lesson, if you're teaching, you're training, you're coaching, it's like, well, what is the outcome I'm looking for? Because, you can have an amazing lesson. I mean, you can go into a lesson, or maybe you got a talk on stage or whatever it is. You can have a topic that you want to present. You can go up there and you can have an amazing, talk, an amazing speech, an amazing lesson. Everybody thinks it's fantastic. You're hilarious. Everyone laughs at your jokes. You are someone who's engaging and funny. And I mean, it's like you come off the stage thinking, man, that was amazing. I did a great job there. But the reality is if you didn't actually hit your key points, if you didn't get the outcome you wanted, which is, at the end of every presentation or lesson, the questions you want to ask is, well, what do you want people to think? What do you want people to do? And how do you want people to feel? Okay. So let's do it the other way. So how do you want people to think? How do you want people to feel? And what do you want them to do? Okay. So that's probably just a nugget just on its own, but I got some more. So when you think about what goal or outcome you're looking for, there are three questions that you need to kind of think about. Also, what you need to ask yourself is, well, who is it for? So if you're making a change in a system, you're planning an event or whatever, who is it for? So ask, who are you? Who's your target market? Who are the people that you're trying to deliver this for? Who's going to get the most value from it, and so on. Second thing is, why are you doing it? Again, why? What's the outcome? What do you want to happen after that? Again, when you're changing a system, what's the point? Why are we changing the system this way? So again, get into more depth on that. So how will it improve things? So it's changing the system. That's great. How's it going to improve things? And then another question is, what will be negatively impacted? So we're going to change the system. That means this is going to be slicker, sharper, greater. But hold on a minute. There's an impact there. If we do it this way, then this is actually going to be slowed down because of it. If we made this part more slick, but this part has got more clunky, right? So what will be impacted by the change? And this is both positive, what will be positively impacted by the change, and what will be negatively impacted by the change. Too many times companies, people run ahead with great ideas without considering those things and how they're actually going to impact the people, the system, okay? So, building change based on assumptions is less effective than building on facts. So if you have a business, if you have a team, if you have staff, you've got to build on facts. And, listen, I've done this and I do this still. Now sometimes as leaders, you've got to just make a decision based on what you feel is the right thing to do. But other times you have to get, facts too. You have to get buy-in. You may have a great idea, and I've done this many times. You know, I had great ideas, and then I've run with them, and I've said this is amazing, and then nobody's engaged in it. You know, so you know, listen, that can be quite disheartening sometimes. You know, but you've got to be resilient. And so in my case, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try something else, try and get feedback. But, you know, if listen, people don't give you feedback, then you go with what you feel. But ultimately, you know, as a leader, you know, CEO, whatever, you have to make those decisions. But the more input that you can get, the more that you, oh, okay, is that, my sound is a bit distorted. Thank you for that. I'll move my mic down, see if that helps. I'm just probably shouting really loudly at the moment because I'm excited about it. Move my mic down a bit. Hopefully that makes a difference. But basically, guys, the more impact you want to make, you know, the more you need to understand what your end goal is, what is your point, what is your objective. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Have an awesome, awesome rest of the day, and I'll see you on my next live. Take care. Bye-bye.